I'm Colin, and Paul is Paul, and we are Seismic Cinema, two friends who like talking movies and TV. I got it right that time. And we believe in the power of escapism. So, how are you today, Paul?
Yeah, not too bad. Actually, pretty tired. So I keep just looking at this camera right now, and I just look like a bag of crap. My eyes are like half shut. What time's it now? 11 o'clock on a Friday night. And it's been a long week. Long week.
It's just about to get even longer.
I know. Hopefully, we're doing 2 movies, aren't we? So it's going to be double the time. Oh no.
Just an overall mismatch of the two.
Mismatch? I mean mishmash.
Mismatch, yeah. It's quite hard to say actually. Oh well. So so what have you been watching, listening, playing, reading? Not reading, but you know what I mean, this week?
Well, probably most recently movie I watched was I rewatched Baby Driver.
Nice. I enjoyed that when I watched it.
Yeah, because I'd been listening to, I was going to say the Happy Hour podcast, but they've changed their name to the Grey's Taproom, and Mike and Tabby had, I think it was Fitz and McShane from Whiskey Hill podcast on theirs, and they did like a soundtrack ranking,
Oh, we did that.
we did. But theirs was totally different to ours, so I think we're too sophisticated when it comes to these things. But yeah, a couple of them talked about Baby Driver, and it just put me right in the mood. So I went and turned it on, and I forgot how good the music was in that. But yeah, Baby Driver's good. So watched that the other night. Caught up in Bad Batch. Had 4 episodes to watch, so caught up on that. Nice wee arc in the middle. It was good.
Two were good. 2 were poor.
2 were good. 1 was meh, and the last one was very the. And what did I watch? I watched some rubbish the other night as well, but I can't remember what it was. But Bad Batch, Baby Driver, watched Ant-Man last night, and half of Ant-Man I watched today because just trying to re-jog my memory. But yeah, there's not been too many good ones.
Oh well.
And yeah, not been playing my PlayStation at all. Just been working way too long and renovating in the house, doing a bit of tiling, so not been playing much at all. So
all work and no play, mate. PK something.
Good old Simpsons reference.
I constantly get in the mood to rewatch The Shining again.
The Shining.
Yes. Do you want to get chewed?
We could do could revisit the podcast since we know bigger words now.
Yes. I'd be up for talking about The Shining again.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. It's our podcast. We can do what we want, right?
You should read the book and then compare the two. The movie to the book.
I didn't really enjoy. I actually got it. We're talking about Audible earlier. I actually got it on Audible, but I wasn't really enjoying it. It's kind of weird, the book, but maybe I'll give it another shot. I'll commit to that. We'll get Sensor Shelf on for that one.
Oh yeah. Need a good critical eye for the books.
Yep. So,
what about
you? I paused my Mandalorian rewatch to watch the Ant-Man movies. So I've got to last one I watched was the 3rd one of season 2 when they meet Bo-Katan on the water planet.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So now that I've watched the Ant-Man films, I'm going to watch the rest of season 2 and hopefully the Boba Fett specials before we do our Mandalorian top 5 ranking and season 3 preview on Thursday night.
Nice.
I watched, as I said, the Ant-Man movies. Me and Aileen have been, I think I mentioned it to you, we've been watching Happy Valley on BBC iPlayer.
Oh, yeah.
Quite enjoying that. It's pretty depressing, to be honest, but it's pretty brutal too and quite addictive. So that's the kind of main ones. We've obviously still do our weekly watch of Dragon's Den and The Apprentice. We watch it on a Friday night normally. We haven't watched it tonight, but we will watch it. And I've been spending a lot of time playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes, how is that?
Amazing. Like, anytime somebody talks to me about it, the first thing I always say is, like, I was first of all surprised like you could swim in the lake, because I've not really played a lot of like open world games, so I wasn't really sure what the limits would be, but you can actually like swim out the kind of the big lake from the movies. And I thought eventually it would, you know what games are like, it says, right, you've reached your limit, time to go back, but you can swim across all the way over to the other side, and you go through the forest and you get attacked by like massive crab things, and there's like stags just running about, and it's just so much detail. It's just so kind of lovingly created. The story's interesting as well.
You are cute. You've not played so many open world games.
I know, but
you can swim across the lake. I
know, but it's stunning because when like sometimes it's daytime, sometimes it's nighttime, but when you're out in the lake, you can just look up at Hogwarts in the dark. It's all lit up, and it just looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw the Hogwarts Express across the water at one point. I actually went past on the train track, because you can run along the train track. I might actually try and run along the train track and see if I can jump on the train.
Probably get flattened, but sure. And what house did you end up going? Did I call it right?
Yeah, I went for Gryffindor. I just felt it's the entry point in the movies and the books. I was like, I kind of had to do it first, but I'll definitely probably go do a Slytherin one, and I'll go evil, because I don't think I'm going to use the unforgivable curses. It just doesn't feel right.
Straight as an arrow as always.
But it doesn't feel right doing it when you're a Gryffindor either. But still, you don't actually go to your. I've not been to my common room in ages, because like you don't do it a day by day. You don't always start in your dormitory and go down. So I'll actually need to go and visit the common room. I was doing my potions lesson last time.
Just never fail to amaze me with
your
love of Harry Potter.
I'll stop there, but I would actually be up for doing a wee pod on it at some point. Talk about it in more detail.
All right. And I forgot to say as well, I caved and started watching The Last of Us.
Oh, that reminds me. I watched the first episode of that, but I will need to go back. How many episodes are out now?
5, I think.
There's more than that, I think.
No, it's just 5. Well, maybe 6 is out now, but it's only a week-by-week basis, and there's 5.
Right, what I'll do is, once I've done my Mando rewatch, I might binge that. That can be my plan.
Yeah. It's basically a Mando rewatch anyway, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I have watched, because I know everyone listening will really want to know. So I'm just actually going to quickly check my Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, You Season 4. I watched it as well. I forgot about that.
I've not watched that yet. We've decided that we're going to finish Happy Valley, then watch You. I actually started watching the first 3 episodes of Narcos. I've actually fallen out of that as well, but I was enjoying it, so it's one that I would. It's just trying to fit all your shows and films in, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is like, well, we'll probably get into it later on, but like kind of Marvel, and all the shows as well.
Well, I would say that's all the things I'm playing and watching, but I've also got a copy of Haley McFarlane's book, The Unbalanced Equation, which we've been talking about on Twitter, and I'm about 230 pages in and having a good time, enjoying it. I'd highly recommend to people who enjoy a good book, so make sure you buy a copy.
Yeah, she's got quite a bit of range, doesn't she? Because that's a rom-com, isn't it? And I think she does quite a lot of like fantasy and horror kind of books as well. So
the Boy from the Sea was like, I had a kind of love angle, but it was also like a kind of murder mystery sort of thing as well, in a sense.
Who did it?
I'm not telling you. Maybe you need to read the book.
I've got the book in my kitchen as well. I need to read it. I need to read it. The Boy from the Sea.
The Boy from the Sea. It's a really good read. I really enjoyed it. So that brings an end to what we're watching, playing and reading. We keep expanding this every week, but I think it's good fun to talk about. And towards the end of the podcast, we'll talk about some of the kind of podcasts and audiobooks and stuff we're got on as well. So, Paul, you asked for this, so I brought back the old clipboard.
For my edit point, yes.
This is the only time I'm going to show what's on it. This will be an Easter egg for the future. So we've got Seismic Cinema, we've got Filled Roles. Strachan will know this reference. Ant-Man 1 and 2, Escapism, PK and Colin, Camera, my laptop, and today's date, 17th of February. So,
and in semi-legible writing.
Yes, this is the intro to the episode. So put your feet up on Anthony. Grab your Pez dispenser. You probably only get that joke if you watch that Man and the Wasp fully. And prepare to practice your card tricks for the next however many minutes.
Rest in peace, Anthony.
I thought that was quite a good intro.
That's one of your better ones. Let's not crack up.
I was actually thinking about it while I watched the films. So that helps.
Scarlet Lisa probably still hate it.
Yeah, but haters going hate, you know. So yeah, this will be in the title of the episode, and you probably guessed by what was said already. But we're going to review Ant-Man 1, well, Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and maybe talk a wee bit about the new film, which is getting caned in the ratings.
Quantumania.
Yes.
It's even the name, isn't it? Just Quantumania. It just doesn't sound like a good movie.
So how you want to do this? Do you want to just talk about all the things we like? Will be really positive. All the things we like about both movies, and then finish off with anything that's not so good, and then have a wee ranking. Does that sound good, or a variation?
Aye, why not? Aye, we'll just go for what general.
Yeah,
general.
That's not how it works. You have to say like general something, like general advantage.
General ideas.
General idea.
People listening be like, what are they doing?
That was a How I Met Your Mother reference where you salute after you say something to do with an army rank.
Yeah, yet another series that I got like 6 seasons in, and I forgot to watch the rest of them. And I had your DVDs for about 3 years.
I think I've got them back. Also, I need my Game of Thrones box set back.
I know, I'm sorry.
Right, anyway, things we love, just get it out of the way. Paul Rudd.
I agree, Paul Rudd, yes. He's a national treasure.
He's just so much fun, isn't he?
Oh, I know, like, can you imagine somebody else being in the role?
No, it's one of those roles, a bit like Robert Downey Jr. It's like you can't actually you could never replace. I don't think it's quite at Robert Downey Jr.'s like elite level of
performance,
irreplaceability, but the film is definitely. I don't know if that's the word.
I was going to say
the way I said it made it sound like a word though.
It was used with confidence. I'll give you that.
It wouldn't be as much fun, and I don't think I would like the films as much if he wasn't there.
No, definitely not. He just does. He brings that kind of levity, that's needed in the best kind of places. Like, I love him. Like, seeing have you seen Role Models yet?
I've seen Role Models, yeah.
He's brilliant in that. He's just so good. But he's definitely into some sort of weird, like, cults or something, because there's no way he can keep looking that young, and he's actually like Benjamin Button, like getting younger as he gets older.
Yes, he's definitely aging backwards.
Like a fine wine.
And these characters really endearing as well, because although he's technically a criminal, he stole the heist that he got known for was he stole loads of money from a company that was going to like fire loads of folk, and then he gave it to them or something like that.
Yeah. So was he an electrical engineer or something for this big company, or a security engineer or something? And then he was just basically like Robin Hood. I would say.
So right off the bat, you you kind of relate to him, but also his relationship with Cassie as well is very endearing.
Yeah. How cute is Cassie?
She is it the same actress but older that's in the new film?
What? Pass.
Actress.
Pass. I do not know that.
Someone who's listening or watching, you could tell us that. That'd be helpful.
I've actually not seen any trailers. I've seen a couple of stills for it, but I've tried to stay away from it as much as like. See nowadays, like I try and stay away from trailers because I can't remember if I was saying to you. Then was it The Smile? Maybe did you ever see that?
No, I wanted to, but I never got around to seeing it.
Oh, see, like the scariest part in the movie. It was in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and it just totally ruined it for me. Like I knew it was coming in. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I've been trying to stay away from like John Wick 4, stay away from the trailer for that. Quantumania, stay away from that.
I'll need to watch John Wick 2 and 3.
Yes, well, they're on Netflix, aren't they?
Yep. My favourite Scott and Cassie moment was the mug he got, World's Best Grandma.
Oh, like the trophy?
The trophy, sorry, not the mug. But World's Best Grandma. There was a few bits there was a bit I laughed at so much in the Ant-Man and the Wasp. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it'll come back to us through discussion. But
you laughed so much at it that you forgot what it was.
No, I actually just proper like LOL'd, like just let it all out there. I don't do that very often when I watch things.
Was it when Hank was like, "Oh, you entangled with Janet"? He's like, "Hank, I'd respect you too much. I'd never do that."
That's good. Yeah, I love the scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp where he's like embodying Janet and he's like talking to them like he is the mum and the wife.
Oh yeah, he plays that scarily well. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
It's funny though. Yeah, I think we could talk about Paul Rudd all evening, but I think we should just leave it that he's hilarious and great. Which is funny because I don't know if you were ever a big Friends watcher.
I caught bits and pieces.
So you know that he was in Friends, right?
Paul Rudd, yes, he was like Phoebe's boyfriend for a while.
Yes, with Phoebe. So like out of the crew back then, he was like probably the least known of like the main cast, if you could count him as main cast.
Yep.
But out with probably Jennifer Aniston, he's probably had like the biggest career out of all of them. Do you know what I
mean? It's probably fair to say, actually, yeah, because the rest of them kind of fell off the map.
Well, David Schwimmer's had like
he's in Band of Brothers and stuff in a few movies.
He directed Run Fat Boy Run.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to convince Scarlett to watch it, but she hates Simon Pegg for some reason.
Run Fat Boy Run's Alien hates Simon Pegg as well.
Oh, they should be best friends.
Oh, Simon Pegg voices the headmaster in the Hogwarts Legacy.
Well, that's something I didn't know, and I'm glad you told me.
Not so much a thing I love, but just quite a fun fact. It is actually about a person that I really love. Did you know that? You probably do know this, that Ant-Man was originally supposed to be directed by Edgar Wright.
Yeah. I was listening to Action Movie Book Club. I only caught the first 5 minutes of it or something, and that's what they were talking about. Which I didn't know. I only caught it for the first time when I watched it yesterday. That it said the story was by Edgar Wright and somebody else, but I didn't know it was meant to be directed by him. And I'm quite sad it wasn't directed by him after watching Baby Driver.
It was creative differences.
Yeah. So they were saying it was because I think he wanted it to be a kind of standalone movie. This is what Hans and JP were saying. They were saying that he wanted it to be a standalone movie because the MCU wasn't actually like a thing yet, because Ant-Man was meant to be one of the first ones. And then when they wanted to like tie it in with all the rest of the stuff, like the stuff with the Avengers HQ and things, I think that's when Edgar Wright was like, nah.
Yeah, I think Edgar Wright's more of independent filmmaker. Like he likes to write his own things rather than be part of like the corporate machine.
Yeah, and don't get like I kind of want to echo what they were saying in their podcast. Like, I would have loved to have seen what he could have done with this.
Yeah, it was still great though. Like
it was still great, but like,
do you know who the director? Do you know who the director was ultimately?
Peyton Reed.
Do you know who he is?
Not personally, no.
No. Do you know like, anything else he's done?
Ant-Man the Wasp.
I've got a fun fact for you then.
Uh,
He directed season 2, episode 2, and season 2, episode 8, the finale. He directed 2 of Mandalorian season 2.
Oh.
He directed the one with the ice spiders, which I thought was a big disappointment at first, but when I rewatch it, I actually quite like it. You know, the second episode of season 2?
Yeah.
And he directed the finale with Luke Skywalker et al.
You know what? I knew that because I watched the behind the scenes stuff when they were talking to him about it, and they were talking about Ant-Man and stuff. Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah.
God, my brain.
Funny, I actually went to like a special screening of this at like, the IMAX in Glasgow, like in 3D and stuff. So that's how I saw the first Ant-Man.
Oh, what made you go see this specifically?
It was just out and you could go, and I went.
Just fancied it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really cool because I always remember seeing the bit when he's in the bath when he's shrunk down.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm just coming up with random things.
Can I ask a question though? Why was Luis running the tap without putting the plug in?
I've done that before. Then wondered why the bath wasn't running. Interesting fact that when I was doing a bit of reading just before this, Wikipedia, nothing too exciting, but there was originally touted to be an Ant-Man movie in the 80s, but one of the reasons they stopped going for it was because Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was also in production. I don't know if you remember watching that when you were a kid.
I do. Rick Moranis.
Yeah, so that's quite funny that was what stopped Ant-Man coming out at the time, or one of the things.
You can see the kind of comparisons of like it'd definitely be like just basically the same movie. But I think that was the rage back in the 80s, like shrinking things. I remember watching the movie and they shrunk a bunch of scientists and put them in a wee ship and put them into somebody's body. I can't remember what it was called, but
that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar, actually.
I think like Dennis Quaid or something was in it, but I could be totally wrong with that. But
yeah,
I think that was raging, like Tron going into video games, like basically shrinking down it in a video game.
Yeah. Right, so we've talked Paul Rudd, talked directors. So I said Paul Rudd originally. So what was something else you loved about the films?
I liked the humour. I really liked the kind of the background cast as well with the humour, because I don't think they were used as much as they could have been, but I really liked Luis. Was it Dave? It was T.I. and David. I can't remember his name. I can never remember his name, but he played
Luis, Dave, and Kurt.
Kurt, the Russian Kurt.
He's actually not Russian.
I know he's not Russian.
He's American.
I know that. He's a very deep actor, by the way. Do you remember him in Suicide Squad? Polka Dot Man.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now. I watched that years, didn't I?
Yeah, he did, yeah. So he was Polka Dot Man and he's just pure depressed all the time. But yeah, he's a really good actor. He was in The Dark Knight as well. You've not seen that, have you?
The Dark Knight?
Yeah, Christian Bale.
Yeah, I've seen that trilogy.
Oh, have you? Okay. Well, he's one of the...
Why did you think I hadn't seen Christopher Nolan's trilogy?
Because I thought it was like a popular movie and Bill hadn't seen it.
No, I've got at least 2 of them on DVD or Blu-ray.
I was talking to Daniel on Thursday and he was like, it's amazing the amount of times Colin says he's not seen a movie on these podcasts. I was like, I know, mate, I know.
But I have seen lots of movies, but it just doesn't happen to be the ones we're talking about at the time.
Yeah, true. There's probably loads like I've not seen as well, but yeah, but they were really funny. I really liked the kind of chemistry between them. You could tell the influence from Edgar Wright from like when they're talking about the quick cuts. Luis when he's telling stories about where all the information came from, and it's like fourth-hand information.
He's just so likable, isn't he? I think I actually sort of disagree with what you said, and that they didn't use them enough. I feel like they used them the perfect amount in both films, because I think I'm not saying that I think they were just the right level of wackiness to be funny. Whereas if they went further, it could have maybe became a bit annoying. But I think they were perfectly used in the way they were.
I suppose maybe
they're in it quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, but I liked Michael Pena's character. He's just so daft, but he's got like a kind of a caring side to him, which I quite liked. It's weird seeing him in other movies, because I've seen him in like Shooter, where he's just like a scared wee kid, like FBI agent, and then he's like this, and he's just like a daft ex-con that is only good at punching.
I like that they're entrepreneurs and they're setting up their wee business in the movies as well.
I like the product placement, Baskin Robbins.
I actually was doing like a wee logo quiz as a starter task in class this week, and I put in Baskin Robbins because I just watched Ant-Man.
Then you go, Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Yes. We had a good segue there, potential segue with the agents. Jimmy Woo, is it?
Yes, it is.
I was going to say Jimmy Choo, but that's the brand, isn't it?
Is that not the shoes that you're going to be buying, Aileen?
Yes. Yeah, he's good fun as well with the card tricks. And that was when I laughed out loud. It was the end of Ant-Man. I remember now. It was the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Scott gets back to the house and he's like playing the drums, and he's been there the whole time, but he obviously knows something's up. But he's like, "I'll be seeing you around." He's like, "What are you? You want to like go for dinner or something?" And then Jimmy's like, "No, I mean like I'm going to arrest you again." But then he turns around and he goes, "Would you want to do dinner?" And it's just the conversation we're having. I just buckled up. It was funny. It's actually it's worth watching the end of it just for that.
Yeah, they have quite good interactions. Like even when he's like doing the close-up magic, he's like, "How did you do it?" He's like, "What?" It's like the card trick.
Yeah, because I've seen Ant-Man and seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. I've seen Ant-Man a couple of times. Ant-Man and the Wasp probably just once. But when he came up in WandaVision, I didn't really remember him. It's probably because I hadn't seen Ant-Man in so long. So the card trick reference didn't really grasp me when I watched WandaVision. But I do love WandaVision. So if I rewatch it at some point, then I'll be able to enjoy that more.
Yeah. Nah, he's good. He is good in this. But did you watch Blockbuster?
I watched like maybe 1.5 episodes or something. But then when I was talking to you, you were like, "Nah, don't bother."
Yeah, I got 3 episodes in and I was just like, this is terrible. Like, they were all terrible. I was like, this is such a good cast. Like, he's in it. The lassie from Brooklyn Nine-Nine's in it.
Yeah.
It's going to have some good comedy material, and it was just god awful. The jokes were terrible. Like, I didn't laugh once in 3 episodes.
I don't understand how that happens.
I don't know. It's like, you think these comedy actors would be like, this isn't good. Like, why are we doing this? But it's a paycheck.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I was looking forward to that. Sorry, this structure is very loose, but I'm enjoying the discussion. So, what else do we love?
I quite like the effects.
Mm-hmm.
It was just about, I don't know, a bit inconsistent for me though. Like, I always felt there was times when he was like, they let you shrink down and that was fine, and then he'd pop back up into full size when he didn't really have to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. His suit was malfunctioning at times, particularly
in the second one. Yeah. That's actually the bit where I left off, where he was like a small kid in the school.
Oh, that was the other bit that I thought was hilarious. He's like scrambling up into the van, and they're like asking him if he wants like a juice box and things like that.
Yeah. Some string cheese.
They used the shrinking and the enlargement really well. That was probably my favorite part of the movies in general. Like, see when it was like he was tiny and like something like I don't know, like something that's what's a good example of something like when they see like seagulls and things like that, and they just look really terrifying. And then
the rats
and the comedy when he becomes bigger, like there's a bit where like he because if he becomes bigger, he gets sleepy and he just like falls over in the water. And there's the bit where like I think it's Louise is in one of the cars that's shrunken down, so it's like a wee toy car underneath like a normal size car. And there's a bit in Ant-Man and the Wasp where I think Louise has a Pez dispenser, and it gets enlarged, so it's just this like giant Pez dispenser. And there's another scene in like a kitchen where like a salt shaker gets enlarged, and they like throw that at them. And I just thought all that stuff was really well done and really funny as well.
Yeah, like in the first movie, the Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, that was creepy though. See what it was like.
And was it the ant as well that got enlarged?
Yeah, that's the one that plays the drums, isn't it? And the other one. Do you know what other bit I like though? Is see when they would like pan the camera out and just make everything seem really ridiculous and small scale, because like the bit with the train track at the end of the first one, and from you see it from like I don't know if it's Cassie's point of view, you see it from somebody's point of view, and the train's going round and he's fighting a Yellow Jacket on it, but all you see is just like wee sparks here and there, and it just I just think it's funny when they show it from like what it would actually look like if it was happening.
Yeah, because even when I think Yellow Jacket's about to get run over by Thomas, he's like, no. And then you see it from Cassie's perspective, and like Thomas just kind of goes, pink, and just falls over.
Yeah, it's good fun. I enjoyed rewatching them. It was nice to have like, because I'm very like chronological, as you know. So see, if I was doing like an MCU rewatch, I would watch them all in order. So just doing the Ant-Man films was good. I might do that. I do that with Star Wars sometimes. I'll just like decide I'm going to rewatch Boba Fett or I'm going to watch the prequels. So I'll just like be a bit more selective.
Yeah, because that was the weird thing about it, was it Ant-Man and the Wasp that came out after Endgame, so people weren't sure how it was going to fit in.
Yeah,
and they were expecting something to happen, and then it just at the end credits.
Yeah, I couldn't really remember where it fitted in. Obviously, you find out quite quickly because he's under house arrest.
Yeah, because I totally forgot. I forgot about that when I was watching it. I was like, "Why is he under house arrest again?" I was like, "Did he get arrested at the end of Ant-Man?" And then I was like, "Oh no, it was the Civil War."
Yeah,
with Cap, his best pal Cap.
I know
him. I like Kenda. Yeah, whatever.
What do you make of Hope or the Wasp?
Yeah, I think she's actually alright. I didn't like her in the first one too much. I think her and Scott's romance were a bit kind of forced. I didn't
really get relationshipy vibes from them at all.
No, it was just kind of like when they're training, like checking each other out. It's like, still, like he's quite funny, he's quite charming, but she was very kind of like straight into business.
It was that kind of cliched, I'm going to be really aloof and not like you, and then I'm quickly going to start to like you sort of romance.
Yeah, like it was just like one of these things where it's like a kind of cookie cutter of like movies where it's like, oh, it has to be a romance, so this is the romance.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think the movie could have done, or the series could have done without it, because not being a romantic interest wouldn't really have impacted the film greatly, I don't think.
Yeah, because like the start of the second one, they're not together because Hank and Hope are on the run because Ant-Man stole the suit to go to Germany.
Yeah,
and they're not talking anyway. So like, they kind of built up to nothing, and then it kind of had to build up again, which was a bit annoying.
It was. It was nice seeing Kate from Lost again, though.
Who's that again?
That's Hope.
Oh, is that Hope? Is it right? Okay, I've never seen
She
Lost.
plays Kate in Lost. She's one of the main characters.
Ah, I see. Evangeline
So
Lilly.
yeah, it was nice seeing her again. It took me back to the good old Lost days.
Yeah. Well, she does have a kick-ass suit as well. Like the Wasp suit's pretty cool with the wings. Like I bet Ant-Man's a bit jealous with that one.
I know. Yeah, it was funny. I really like Michael Douglas. I think that guy's awesome.
Oh yeah, he steals the show. He steals the scene. Every scene he's in, I think.
Yeah, and I like the way they kind of tied together his backstory of when he was Ant-Man, and like and Janet was the Wasp, and they show like how she ended up in the quantum realm. There was a line Scott said where he's like, "Do you guys just put quantum in front of everything?"
In front of Mania, Quantumania.
Because there's an Jordan recommended to me at one point. It was a kind of Marvel, like an older Marvel cartoon, and Ant Man's in it, but it's Hank Pym's Ant Man,
No, right, okay.
an animated show.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling quite kind of Marvel fatigued at the minute.
I did, but watching the Ant Man films has kind of got me back in the mood. I think
Is it? Okay.
revitalized me a wee bit.
Because I've been, I don't know, like I've seen like stills of it. I know like Kang the Conqueror's in the new one, the Quantumania, but I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's been in other things in TV shows or whatever. I think he has been. I think he's been in Loki.
He appears in the last episode, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I don't know if maybe Marvel is getting too interconnected for me, that because I'm missing a lot of shows, like I'm not catching a lot of shows, that at some point it's just going to be like totally confusing when you go to see a movie. Like Daniel was talking about, he went to see Multiverse of Madness, and there's a lot of references to WandaVision that just if you hadn't watched WandaVision, you'd be like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I get that to an extent, but see, when I didn't see like the Infinity Saga like in chronological order, I would just go with like you or other people and just see like ones I like the sound of. And it wasn't until like a certain point I was like, right, I need to watch these in order. So like I know what the full story is and how it all links together. So I get what you mean, but because I experienced it like that originally, it doesn't maybe bother me as much because I'm kind of used to not knowing certain things.
Yeah,
I'm
I just
going
think
with
I would like it better if like the movies were interconnected like fully. That's fine, but maybe wee Easter eggs in TV shows. But when there's like major plots happening in TV shows that should affect the movies, that's when it kind of gets a bit murky for me, because like I've not watched, is it Miss Marvel at all? So I don't.
I've not watched that, and I've not watched Wakanda Forever.
No, me neither. So like, I probably watch Wakanda Forever because I want to see what's happening in the movies, but I just can't. I don't have the time to watch all these different shows. Like, go back and watch Miss Marvel, go back and watch Loki, go back and watch those 2 episodes of Hawkeye that I've been hanging on to for the past few months.
Hawkeye and WandaVision and probably What If are probably my top 3 favorite MCU shows.
Yeah, I didn't even finish What If. Yeah.
I think that says more about your completion rate than.
I was just disappointed by the zombies episode. I thought it was going to be more.
I loved that episode.
It was good, but I wanted there to be like more to it.
Never happy. Sometimes I think streaming, like, because I know the Marvel and probably Star Wars films when the Wrench says them, that they'll be on Disney Plus within weeks. Like Wakanda Forever is on Disney Plus now, and I don't have any.
You sound so Wakanda.
I don't actually have an urge to watch it. Like as you say, I'll probably watch it at some point, but it's not one I've got like on like bookmarked in my brain to go and watch. Like I didn't really like Black Panther, if I'm honest.
No, that was my weakest film for the MCU. I think not for the MCU, but that kind of phase, and it got so many accolades and so many like award nominations and stuff, and I was like kind of watching it like, why? It's not that great.
Aileen hated it. I remember watching it with her, and she just moaned about it the whole way through. But I don't know if that, because she also did that for Wally, and I don't know if like that impacted my enjoyment of it. But if I enjoyed it, surely I would have just enjoyed it. I've never had an urge to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, I find it hard. See, when films are hyped up so much, I find it so hard to. I don't know. It just seemed to like conversely affect me because have you seen that movie Skinamarink that's people have been talking about?
No, but it sounds ridiculous.
It's like everybody's kind of like raving about it, and I watched it, and like see for the first 20 minutes, you see the back of some wee kid's head like once, and that's about it. And it's just like the rest of the time, it's just panning around rooms in the dark, and nothing's happening, and it's so boring. I had to skip through most of it, and yeah, hype train was not there for me.
I'm with you. If something's on the Oscar nomination list, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, usually ones up for Oscars are like not terrible, but they're not good. They're just like fancy dancy for the sake of being fancy dancy and not really got good stories in it.
One I remember was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've not seen it. It's like 3 hours long. DiCaprio.
I saw it at the cinema in Glasgow, and I thought it was awful.
Was your arse a bit numb? I mean, your bum a bit numb?
Aye, it was. if truth be told, yes. Anyway, we're off on a multiverse of tangents again. So we've talked about most of the main cast, the supporting cast, the effects.
What about the villains?
Oh, so this could be the segment that we've done the stuff we love. This could be more things that maybe we didn't love as much. I don't know if you feel the same way. Well, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
So probably the main thing I didn't like was I thought like Efren was a wee bit kind of inconsistent with the science of it all. I always thought it was like they were just like making stuff up that would just fit. Like, oh, we need this, and they just have one, or like it's like dead complex machinery. So, like when Ant-Man goes like subatomic in the first one, and it's like don't mess with the regulator. So he just flings one of his like throwing stars in there that are meant to enlarge things, and it just magically works with his high-tech belt and grows him big to the right size that it needs to be and stuff. Like it's not like it's just daft things like that to me that bug me. Like this high-tech suit, and he just plays a bit with it for 2 seconds and it gets the right result. But that's I don't know, just stupid things like that.
I thought in terms of the villains, I preferred the guy Darren Cross, was it?
Yeah.
I preferred his villain to the ghost in the second one. I just didn't really care for her character, and like you're supposed to feel for her because she'd been through a lot, but she wasn't that nice a person, and I wasn't really rooting for her.
Hey, if you're in pain 24/7, would you be a nice person?
No, but see the way her story, like she was in like a lab and her parents got killed, but then she survived and just became a ghost. It's like you say, it's just a bit like
a bit hokey.
Let's do that. So she's in quite a lot of things. She was in Black Mirror actually, Paul. She was in Playtest.
Oh yes, so she was. She was the kind of girlfriend that was actually. She went to the mansion. That's right.
And she's been in a few of the Netflix shows, like the Stranger, like a few of those ones.
Nah, I've not watched that.
So yeah, I did recognise her quite early. I think she was in Happy Valley actually.
Yeah, I quite like the powers of Ghost. Like I thought they were pretty interesting.
I don't know. I just didn't enjoy the villain aspect of that. I feel like I love the humor, the visuals, and the characters, but I don't think like the storyline is like amazing. Ant-Man 1's just a bit like Iron Man 1, isn't it? With the suit.
Yeah, getting the suit, yeah.
And
And
like,
somebody wanting it. But the heist element was different.
I thought he was quite. I thought Darren was quite a good villain because remember that bit in the bathroom where that guy's trying to like stop his technology
Yeah.
breaking through, and he just like kills him there and then into like just a wee bit of
Goop.
yeah. So
Yeah. By the way, Mark's on his PowerPoint presentation. Could he have looked any more like a bad guy? When he's like presenting the yellow jackets on that video.
Yeah.
Preserving freedom by assassinating people in their suitcases. Like
he was where I knew him from, the actor, was that Liam Neeson film Non-Stop, you know, the one in the plane?
Yeah, he's the NYPD cop, isn't he?
Yeah, that's where I remembered him from.
Yeah, he's in a TV series called The Strain, which is like he's a CDC investigator and there's like vampirism, like appearing on the streets. Filch from Harry Potter. He's in it as well.
David Bradley.
David Bradley, aka
See mine. See mine.
See mine.
He does listen.
You need to work on your West Country accent.
We need to do a Cornetto trilogy podcasting. Can we make that happen in the next batch?
We can do, yes. Yes, we can. We should get Mike and Tabby on because they love it too.
Yes. So we're talking about the villains. I was a big fan of Ghost. Darren I thought was decent, but he literally just was like, is it Obadiah Stane from Iron Man?
Yeah, bald head and all.
So like, I don't know. I got this really confused, but see when they rescue Janet from the quantum realm.
Yep. Yep.
I had this weird memory that they found her, but she wasn't actually like still alive. She was like an alien now or something. Or do you think I'm thinking of that episode of that Love, Death and Robots?
Don't know.
I don't
probably.
know.
She's that spider.
See when they were
Love, Death and Robots.
See when they were finding her, I was like, oh, it's going to turn out she's actually dead or she's actually like an alien or something. But neither of those things happened, so I don't know where I invented that from.
See, I love Death and Robots. Luminara and Dula from Rebels, or Michelle Pfeiffer from Aquaman.
Oh, did you finally watch Rebels then? I've not seen Aquaman, so I
definitely. God damn it, Colin.
I don't really like DC films, if I'm honest. Like I don't mind the Batman films, but the rest of them, not really.
To be fair, like I don't know what's happening in DC. Like, I don't think a lot about it exists anymore.
I'm surprised Jordan's ears haven't
pricked up.
I'm surprised he's not came through the sound of the words DC. So, yeah, I feel like we'll probably reach the climax of our Ant-Man discussion for the first and second. Unless there's anything else you can think of.
Well, I know like some people were saying on Twitter that the films weren't that memorable, and they're probably right. It's just I probably preferred Darren to Ghost actually, like you were saying, but he was just an angry businessman. That's all he really was.
Do you want to rank them together as a pair, since we've kind of discussed them as a pair? Or
sure.
Or individually?
I'll do it individually, actually. Do it individually.
Right, first Ant-Man. Will we just do 1, 2, 3 and then give our score out of 10?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 9?
7. What?
7.
7.
I don't know if 9 too high. That's what I said.
9. That's fair enough. You hold it in quite high regards, obviously.
It's got great rewatchability, doesn't it? Like, you would never be... If someone said to you, like, you need to watch Ant-Man 3 times this week, I wouldn't be that mad.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Like the humor's there. I just thought like you're saying, like we were saying earlier on about the romance. I thought the romance could have done without being like just forced. There's a few bits that are a bit questionable. I didn't really like the stepdad.
Oh, actually, we forgot to talk about him. I like that he eventually loves Scott, because see when Scott gets out of his home arrest, like he like jumps on him, gives him a big cuddle.
Yeah, he's a bit overly friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't think he was a very good cop. Like like when he arrests like Ti and Kurt outside the PIM building,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the alarms start going off, he just leaves them. It's like, sure, if you think there's a robbery going on and you think he's a suspect, you're arresting them.
Mm-hmm.
But he just leaves them, they just run away. It's like, yeah, okay, good one.
He's in quite a lot of things, isn't he?
He's in Jumanji, one of the Jumanjis.
Is it Robbie Cavendale?
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Is he not in that? He was in a film I went to see. I can't remember what it was called. That's the pointless story, so never mind. Like,
he's been quite a lot recently.
I actually quite like the stepdad, if I'm honest. Maybe it's relatability on my part.
You're the asshat.
So Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3,
6.5.
6.5. That's harsh.
Oh, Ant-Man was 7, and I didn't like it as much as that, so 6.5.
I think you're being really harsh, and I hope people listening think you're being really harsh. Because
I'm a man of the people. I'm a realist.
I already said to you, the bit with do you want to go out for dinner, and the bit with him as a kid and looking like a kid in the school, those two bits they're enough for me to give it at least a 7.
Like it is good. It's just some of the bits just feel like daft for the sake of being daft, and I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy it. Like if I had the choice between watching Ant-Man and Ant-Man the Wasp, I'd watch Ant-Man. So that's why it's a lower score.
I don't know. Like after rewatching it, just the two bits I mentioned, like, and I love the bits with like the Pez dispenser and like the giant Ant-Man and the cars, and I really like the visuals as well.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention the scene at the very start of the second one when he's built like the fort in his house when he's under house arrest, and like Louise is like a part of it, and they've got like the cardboard Anthony and things like that.
Yeah. And it's the heist, their heist.
Yeah.
And then he just pops up and he's like, police pops up, like, have we got too many security cameras on the Capertinian job?
They're so fun. I'm kind of sad that the new one's not getting great reviews, but film is subjective, as we know from the law-abiding reviews.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you can't always go by these reviews, like you were saying. Like we really enjoyed Law Abiding Citizen, and that got bombed, so you never know.
Mm-hmm.
But like these things come around. Like, see the movie The Thing. Like, see when that first came out, that was like you've not seen it, right? But when it first came out, it was totally bombed. Like, it had such bad reviews. Like, nobody wanted to watch it. And then see nowadays, it's like a classic. Like, everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
And it's like in the same breadth as like Halloween 1978. So it just depends. These things. This early days.
Are you going to go see the new Ant-Man this week or this week coming?
I might do. I might try actually. Yeah. Might go to the cinema.
I'll conveniently turn up at the same show as you then.
That'd be good. We've not done that in ages.
Well, I'll have a look at my schedule and we can see what's going on. So that brings to a close the review. I don't really see the value in previewing the new episode because the new film, because I don't really know that much about it, to be honest. I watched one of the trailers yesterday, but you've not even done that. So I think we just see how it goes.
Yeah. I heard that man dies at the end.
So what I want to do is I made a promise. I made a promise on Twitter that I would share some of the comments about the Ant-Man movies. So I think it's only fair to do so.
I want to hear your best Twitter voice. Give it some gusto.
So no, I'm trying to.
Go on.
Right. What was my Twitter voice?
Yeah, it's like. Give
me an example.
Well, they said that Darren Cross was a diddy, and
James Patterson said, definitely, the first one was stronger, but I feel these films are underrated. A trip to the cinema is required. My last cinema outing was The Batman. I look forward to this episode. So thank you, James. Thank you for always supporting us, and hopefully your channel's up and running soon. Craig from What's the Script said, the first one was great. Second one was good. You just can't help but love anything Paul Rudd does. And there's a gif of Paul Rudd running down the stairs going like this. Yeah, I love Paul Rudd. And I wrote he's aging backwards. And Dissect That Film said the first one tonally feels better because it's not connected to anything in the MCU yet, other than the scene at Avengers HQ. Oh, we forgot to mention Falcon, actually. Paul Rudd is always a blast. He is indeed. And the supporting cast is fun. They are indeed. The only negative are the villains, some of the weakest in the MCU. So, yeah, so thank you to those 3 accounts for getting involved in the discussion, and there's your shout out.
Nice. To be fair, the MCU doesn't have a good track record of strong villains, does it?
No, but that's a whole episode on its own. So, Paul, you do your PK picks, is it?
Yeah, I've actually been listening to that much. My radio broke in my van, so I was struggling to. But
you got any shout outs you want to give this week?
Yeah, well, to the boys at the Moisture Farm Report, Adam and James, they done a episode on why stormtroopers can't shoot straight or keep missing, and try and dispel the myths and about that. And I've just got one thing to say to James. Daddy needs his podcasting juice. It's a weird joke. It's something he said. It's nothing to do with me. So, what else have I been listening to? I listened to a couple of. See, because the weeks have all kind of rolled into one now. Mm-hmm. And we missed one. Can't remember what ones I listened to. Watched the Moisture Farm Report. I was listening to a couple of Chat Tsunami, another good Scottish podcast. They were doing. I was listening to Terminator Month, because they'd done like whole month on Terminator movies and like trivia and stuff. It was pretty good.
They're coming on with us for Mandalorian next week.
They are, indeed. I'm looking forward to that one. Should be pretty good. They like your Star Wars. I was listening to Book of Boba Fett one as well. Quite intrigued by that.
Nice.
They hated the mods just as much as I did. And What's the Script as well. And Dissect That Film, actually. I was listening to theirs. They did Alien 3. They've been doing alien movies, so I've watching them. And What's the Script? Did War of the Worlds? You seen that with Tom Cruise?
I don't think so, no.
That one's good. Yeah, so it's just a fair bunch. There's probably like loads of them I've forgotten because I've listened to quite a few. And like I was saying earlier on, I listened to the Grey's Tap Room, the soundtrack, Whiskey Hill. So yeah, there's been quite a few, but they're all really good podcasts, really good listens. You should start listening to the indie community. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
I have done. I don't do it as much as I should, but I do it on occasion. I'm going to start maybe just listening to maybe a couple of your suggestions each week. That could be a good place to start.
Yeah, there's so many talented people out there. Like, it's crazy the amount of good shows there are.
Because we were talking about Stu World Order, who was a great guest for our Halloween episode. I did actually go and listen to one of his recently, the Days of Future Past, the X-Men one.
Oh, yeah. I listened to that one as well. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, so I will. That'll be... Because I've not really been listening to as many things. I've been listening to those podcasts I was telling you about, the Diary of a CEO and the High Performance podcast. I've been listening to them in the morning, but I've kind of running a bit low on things to listen to, so I will get into that. So yeah, that's us done really. Just time to plug ourselves. So Paul, we've got a new social media account up and running. You wanna give it a wee shout out?
Yeah, we finally took the plunge and went on that TikTok thing. I think we've got 3 videos up, and they've had
Over 100 followers.
Over 100 followers. A few. I think maybe about 1,500 views on our videos so far. So that's pretty good, I think, or it could be terrible. I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure what I'm doing.
That sounds like quite a lot.
Just splicing things together. So hopefully we get some entertainment stuff out soon. Maybe get some bloopers from Colin at some point.
Yeah, I might play about that StreamYard option and see how you can do the wee shorts and things like that. Yeah, so follow us on, that's right, follow us on TikTok. So in terms of listening to this podcast, if you want to check out any of our other reviews or interviews, we've interviewed authors, directors, special effects folk. We have do plenty of rankings. We're doing a ranking next week. I'm looking forward to that. I've not done that in a while. So you can find us on YouTube. So make sure you like and subscribe. You can find us on Spotify, Good Pods, Apple, Google Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, and all of those other good places. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. You should not, as Paul said, you'll have a 50-50 chance of being, disappointed or something. There's a 50% chance you won't be disappointed. I don't know what you said. you said it at some point. Yeah. And we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So give us a follow, a like, subscribe, get involved in the conversation. And we have buy us a Jawa juice page now. I buy us a coffee page.
Oh, you stole that right from Moisture Farm Report. That's what they say.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, dirty.
Apologies. No. Do you like coffee?
Nah, I'm more of a tea kind of person.
So buy us a
7-Up sugar-free cherry.
I'm going to go for a low-calorie ginger ale.
Of course you would.
Yeah, I'll do that. Right, anyway, we're rabbiting on. Just one last thing to mention before we finish up is some stuff we've got coming up. So next week we're doing a ranking of our favourite 5 episodes of The Mandalorian and talking about season 3. We're going to review Creed 1 and 2. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to you checking them out because they are really good. And then we're going to look at Scream 1 with Brett from Dissect That Film. We're going to look at John Wick 2 and 3. I'm looking forward to checking them out. And we're going to jump on another podcast, talk about the best sequels and review Jaws. And then we're going to
talk about radio.
Yeah, and we're going to discuss Bad Batch season 2, which will be quite mixed, I think. So enjoyed the discussion. I'm looking forward to checking out Ant-Man. I hope it's better than some of the reviews are saying.
Yeah, maybe we should do a quick fire review if we watch it next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should start doing shorter ones as well now and again.
Yeah, I would do for that. Just a wee short seismic cinema.
Yes, seismic short.
Seismic short. Did we just create a new thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and there might be a website at some point, but I'm still trying to work out how to use WordPress properly. So is that?
I know. But in the meantime, Colin, you just go to Colin's OnlyFans. It's fine.
Yes. Paul will be cutting that bit out.
I love how I say things about controversy. Just go, yes, yeah. And then move on.
Right. And so thank you for listening to Seismic Cinema. Hope you had as much fun with the Ant-Man films as we did. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks for listening.